couple of weeks ago, I, Michael Connor, was disappointed that the Houston Texans were not going to be able to end the career of a 44-year-old. Well, this weekend, they're going to end the career of a 42-year-old when they take down Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm John Hickman, and I think anybody that's concerned the Pittsburgh Steelers could win this game against the hottest team in the NFL, I got news for you, buddy. It ain't happening. Any given Sunday is true, though.
Yeehaw! It's time for the Texans Squad. Everything Houston Texans, every week. Bringing you the big hits, game-changing plays, and all the action straight from the Lone Star State. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Saddle up and squad up. It's the Texans Squad Show, starting now.
Welcome into the Squad Show. Michael Connor, John Hickman here with you tonight. We're hoping to have Stan later on in the show. We appreciate those of you watching live. Of course, those of you watching later on in this YouTube channel, make sure you're hitting subscribe. You're checking out the daily work of John with the Locked On Texans podcast. You're always here Tuesdays and after the game. And, of course, when the season ends in the month of February, we'll go back to twice a week at Tuesday and Friday. But for now, we actually won't be back until next Monday. I didn't even think about that because we have a matchup that is set up.
Yeah, Monday night, man.
Yeah, Monday night football. It's going to be weird.
Time.
How do you feel about Monday night football games, John, and in prime time and in the playoffs?
I love it, man. You know, the NFL.
I hate it.
This is why I love it. Monday night throughout the year already feels like an event, right? Yeah. Especially if it's your team playing. So now, instead of having to worry about all 32 teams playing, essentially we're getting the best of the best, and then on Monday night we'll get that big event moment to close out the week, and that's where Houston will stand. And so I'm also looking forward to a dominant performance. It may not result in a lot of points, but I do think that Houston will dominate. But I like the Monday night. This is why I hate it, though. This is my 10%, though, MC.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
You know what that means? We got to stay up late.
That's my first
That's
thought.
my 10% right there.
That's my first thought. I was like, damn it, we're going to be up. I mean, we still enjoy doing the show, but I'm not going to lie to you on a Monday night. No, I want to take my ass to bed. We're going to finish this show here at 7:30. And guess what? My wife and I are going to be in bed by about 8:15. I'm an old man now these days. Yeah, I'm with you there. You know, it's crazy to think for as we're doing this show too, it's been a wild day in the NFL. There's been, probably the biggest bombshell firing was John Harbaugh today. Just think about if that played out. They're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, which we all picked as the team we wanted to see the Texans play. And man, did the Ravens really screw that one up on Sunday night. I mean, what a miss of a field goal to not make it to the playoffs. But think about how that changes today. If John Harbaugh and the Ravens are in the playoffs, maybe he's not getting fired. Instead, here we are talking about, the Texans and the Steelers. It's a wild world, man.
I think, the flip side, we may be talking about the future of Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Who, essentially it would have been his first season missing the playoffs in forever. Well, he's never missed the playoffs. And so you can look at maybe the direction of wherever the Pittsburgh Steelers are going or where they were going. And we'll look at that conversation. But I think for Baltimore, I honestly think it's time. And I think they are about 2 years late from this decision. Obviously, Harbaugh has a lot of love and respect. They won the championship in 2012, did a very good job of bringing on and mentoring and helping Lamar Jackson get to where he is. But it just felt like the brand of Baltimore. You remember early in the year when they took him on, I called it the great value brand of Baltimore. It's not the same Baltimore Raven team that for years growing up, we've grown accustomed to seeing. And so I think a lot of that had to do with Harbaugh and then also just the makeup of the team and the roster altogether. So I think it's time. I think they're 2 years late. But the good thing for the Houston Texans is this is the third straight year in a row. They ain't got to worry about that. They got their head coach who seems to be like he's next up possibly to be a Super Bowl winning head coach.
32 wins in the last 3 years in the regular season for that head coach. Pretty darn good as well. So let's talk about it. We'll just kick the night off with the matchup. I mean, we talked about it Sunday. There doesn't feel like there's a better matchup for the Texans in the wild card round. Oh, and by the way, we failed to mention it. This snaps the Texans' streak of wild card Saturday at 3:30. That's the other thing here. They finally got an opponent that somebody wants to see because all the other opponents were the Bengals, the Chargers, the Bills, the
the Raiders one year.
Yeah, the Raiders.
That was the Brock Osweiler year. You know, Houston has done a lot of
they
bad
made the
things.
playoffs with Brock Osweiler.
I think Brock, and I think did Brian Hoyer get some reps that year?
He made the playoffs his year he started.
Made the playoffs, yeah, but I think
he threw a ton of interceptions against Kansas City or something.
And DeAndre Hopkins wanted the two-piece him on the sideline.
Yeah, I did
remember
too.
That.
Yeah. So this ends the streak, though. It is Monday Night Football. But I don't know, man. Like, the Texans are favorites as we expected them to be. They are road favorites. There's a few road favorites this weekend in the NFL. But I feel I don't want to like downplay the Steelers at all because, look, they can hang around in games. They've shown that all season long. They've won, 10 games this season. You don't win 10 games by mistake.
And they are 7-3 in one-score games. They got a lot of makeup and build to them like the Houston Texans do.
And that's part of what it scares me, but also doesn't scare me because I just feel like the Texans are going to go out there and just, number one, out-athletic them, make them look old
squad, yeah,
and just go out there and run past them all night. What do you think?
So this is what I think plays in Houston's favor. I don't want to say that they're going to just over-athletic them because Houston's offense is challenged, right? I mean, this is an offense that will probably be reading in the back of the class. So I don't want to necessarily put that on Houston's offense, but I think in the same breath, we can put that on the Pittsburgh Steelers passing defense, which is one of the worst in the NFL. And also, when we talk about what Houston has done well this year, going up against a team that has won 7 one-score games, in those one-score wins, the teams have committed 17 total turnovers. Houston, as of late, has done a very good job of taking care of the rock. And so when I look at what other teams have failed to do, and I look at how that plays in Houston's favor against the Pittsburgh Steelers, they ain't giving the ball away. They are not giving the ball away. What's up, Stan? Joining the show. We got a comment for you here. Kicked it off. Stan ain't even here. He already hating. But I think that's why Houston's going to win this game. They're not going to turn the ball over. I would be surprised if Houston turns the ball over more than one time. And this is also a team in the Pittsburgh Steelers that, and I'm going to talk about this on the Wednesday show. You get after Aaron Rodgers, he's going to throw the ball away. He's not going to force it. He can't move around in their pocket. So we look at how the D-line is going to get after them, with their front four pass rush. It could be a very tough day for Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I'm most interested to see in this game is, he is, at least, he's not a complete statue back there, but he obviously doesn't move a lot. And We've seen the Texans just kill the edge all season long with both Will Anderson and with obviously Daniil Hunter as well. I mean, those two guys are absolute freaks. I want to see what's the idea? Are you keeping it wide and just trying to flush him up into the pocket? You trying to make him move around to the outside? Like, what are you doing? And then, like you said, how at some point he's going to stop throwing the football away. He's going to take some risk, right? I'd imagine that they're going to be down in this football game at some point. That's the thing.
He's got to. I want to ask y'all this question, man. Do you think it, play in Houston's favor if Houston puts Kamari on DK and allow Derek Stingley to just pick and choose whoever? Because essentially, I mean, he would cut off a half the field. And do you trust Kamari one-on-one with DK? And if you expect for him to go over the top, just shade Caden over a little bit to kind of help with that. Whatever side Derek Stingley's on, he could potentially take away half of that field. So I think Houston defensively, they're going to have some things that I can't wait to see D'Amico and Matt Burke cook up. One of the things is Aaron Rodgers does not do a good job when 5 or more rushers attack. Houston doesn't blitz a lot this year, but maybe on second downs they could use that to their advantage to kind of flush them a little bit and turn 2nd and 6 or maybe 3rd and 11. Who knows? I'm just making up numbers. But I think that when we get to the playoffs year in and year out, have we not seen D'Amico Ryans make adjustments to the game plan to whoever they're playing? I think we have, and I think that's something to keep our eye on.
What do you think about that scenario, Stan? Would you do what John is asking there and have Kamari go after DK and then let Stingley do his thing?
No, because Kamari's banged up. Now Stingley's been dealing with that abdomen growing, whatever it is, in his own right. So I'm more inclined to say, Sting, you're the best corner. You go guard their best guy, and then Kamari will work you in on these other two. If Kamari were completely healthy, then I would go with what John is talking about. Teams do it all the time. Belichick made a name. He was the first one that I saw really start doing that. You put your number 2 corner on their best receiver, and then you use your best corner and bracket their 2 and 3, so to speak. So it's been done. I wouldn't do it though. Not with Kamari coming off that. He's got a knee he's been dealing with for a couple games, right? Couple weeks.
Yeah, well, he's the knee, and what's his like you mentioned, I think Stingley's is it the oblique for Stingley?
Oblique, yeah. And I think Kamari is technically listed as knee and ankle, the last injury report I saw.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a good thing. I mean, if there's one thing that we're coming off the regular season with, guys, it's that the Texans do need some depth back there in the back end, right?
Clearly, you see Tremont Smith get beat right off the rip.
They released Kevon Wallace today.
Kevon Wallace got released, yep.
To promote Darrell Taylor. And I thought that was a shocker because from an edge position, Barnett and Autry, some of these other guys, we don't know what the injury report is going to look like, so maybe they did that because of a reason. But that shocks me because who else is going to play safety back there?
Miles Bryant.
Yeah, he was a problem when he was out there. That's why they went to sign Kevon Wallace.
I mean,
we don't want to see Tremont Smith out there too much.
No, who else did they have out there? The boy that got. Oh, let me go back to my notes. I just put his name. Oh shoot, Damon Clark.
Oh yeah,
Clark, number 31. He got some reps in back there in the secondary as well. It doesn't make me feel better. The answer to your question is, it doesn't make me feel better.
No, as it shouldn't, right? But I do. But overall, and we'll get deeper into this game as it moves. I'm pleased, guys, with the matchup, right? I mean, this is everything that you could want in the first. And does it set up to, does this set up for them to make that deep run like we're expecting them to?
I think it can, man. It can. I think it really can, because at the very least, what they
1 week at a time.
1 week at a time. But
we're not the players. We don't have to be 1 week at a time.
1 week at a time.
We can live in our own reality.
Hey, look,
they
D'Amico,
knock this dub off. They win on the road to kick off the playoffs, and it kind of puts some of the jitters down. And now they feel comfortable going in some of these hostile environments to get wins. So I think it could play out for them if they can make a run.
The Texans have never played a wild card game, period. So conversely, they've never played a wild card game on the road. The environment will be stupid. This will be one of the most intense football games that D'Amico Ryans has coached in as the head coach of the Houston Texans. It was going to be made for TV Monday night. I'll come back to that in just a second. But Will Anderson Jr. was asked this week. He was like, man, we're 4 games from winning this, or what do you say? We're 4 games from being Super Bowl champions. Then D'Amico was told the quote by Will, and D'Amico was like, yeah, and I paraphrase, I get my young Bulls doing this thing. We got to worry about 1 week at a time. The playoffs are different. Ask Wade Smith, who joins us after each and every game, ask any other NFL player, and they will tell you the playoff is a different game. It's a different speed. It's a different intensity. It's different X's and O's. It's not just a football game anymore. And so who can make those adjustments? And when you look on the other side of the field, now the Texans, C.J. Stroud is 2-2. This is his 3rd consecutive season of going out there to start a playoff game. So he's starting to creep up in there into that veteran status of, I expect to perform well at this level. But that on the road, they talking about the temperature at kickoff Monday night. It'll be in the 30s. Not expecting any precipitation, but it's going to be chilly now. And that environment, they're built for that. That's how they play over there. And so I'll come back to that, but I'm coming back to this Monday night thing too. Go ahead.
We'll talk about that. Let's take our quick first time out. We'll come back and get your thoughts on that, because we talked about it a little bit to start the show, but we'll keep rolling on as we're getting you ready for the Texans and the Steelers this weekend in the wild card round of the Locked On Texans Squad Show. Before we get there, though, I want to tell you guys about a couple of different things here. First up, Guys, draft pick positions are set, and so many teams are looking for their franchise QB. Ever wished you could become a pro QB, getting drafted first overall by, well, the Texans? How about that? Well, now you can. There's a mobile game just for you. It's called Ultimate QB Football Legend. In this game, you step into the cleats of a number one draft pick, that quarterback, and it's your job to lead your team to greatness and to help a failing franchise turn into a dynasty. This is the number one QB career mode game in the mobile app stores, and it introduces, I should say, the most realistic environment with full career control. Sign contracts, trade and upgrade yourself, build chemistry and evolve your teammates, give input to your GM on roster moves, play the actual games in 2D, and rise through the ranks to become a pro football legend. You'll deal with the ups and downs of a QB career, from rookie nerves to playoff drama, and every choice shapes your journey. Ultimate QB is totally free to play, has no ads, and works 100% offline. Perfect for when you want to sneak in a quick game or two on the go. Just head over to ultimate-qb.com. That's ultimate-qb.com, or search for Ultimate QB in the App Store. And we've got something special for you guys. Enter the promo code Locked On, all caps, in the game store to get a free boost at the start of your career. Ultimate QB Football Legend. QB1, it's your legacy. Well, we know who QB1 is going to be for the Texans this weekend. It's C.J. Stroud, as they'll take on the Steelers up there in Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football, by the way. Stan, before you jumped in here as we started the show, John and I were talking about it, and we were both only really upset about one thing. It's great that they're in primetime. They're not at the 3:30 game on a Saturday. That's fantastic, but our old butts are really mad that we got to stay up till 11:30 at night to not go to bed. You're muted, by the way.
Yeah,
but yeah, what are you thinking here with the Monday Nighter?
I love it. I think it adds some drama. It gives some context to just how good and the reputation these Texans have earned this year, led by that defense. I think the rest of the NFL has seen what the Texans have done in the wild card round. Obviously, that game is normally at home. So they've earned the right to be here. And I think it is on pace to be a hard-fought. I think the game on Monday night for the Texans is going to look very similar to the Baltimore Ravens-Pittsburgh Steelers game from Sunday night. I think there are going to be some parallels there, given a little difference in how the Ravens are built, but the physical. Did y'all feel it? For me, it was palpable through the TV. Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they were physical. Like, that was a playoff game. That's how it's going to feel, I think, when the Texans show up. I'm okay with it. Now, if there is one thing that makes me a tidbit uncomfortable, Mike Tomlin is like 21-0, 22-0 on Monday Night Football.
They've not lost a Monday Night Football game since like the 90s or something.
Yeah, Bill Cowher did not lose one, and Mike Tomlin has not lost one. So I think it's like 1991 was the last time that they lost a Monday Night. And so
that is absurd, by the way. That's crazy.
23 consecutive.
It really
yeah, it's 23 consecutive Monday night wins. The last time that they lost that's at home was October 14, 1991. I had just turned a year old. That's disgusting.
Damn. So if you're into omens and those types of things, it's just something to keep your eyes on. But it's got all the names. DK Metcalf is a star. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. Mike Thomas, Miko Ryans, a budding superstar, the head coach in his own right. Everybody knows the C.J. Stroud name. And then people are learning Nico as he's to past stardom and inching up into superstardom. Will Anderson Jr. is a Pro Bowler. Like it's got everything. Derek Stingley, all pro. Like this is what playoff football should be. The best against the best. And now Pittsburgh got fortunate and they're limping into this thing, but the Texans have better worry about going 1-0 and not worried about what happens in the first Sunday in February.
Let's transition into something else I wanted to ask you guys tonight with this matchup specifically. If there is somewhere in this game in terms of matchups or whatnot that does concern you, what would it be?
Good question. Really quick for the Monday night talk. They will have a great duo calling the game, so we don't have to worry about a boring game from a play calling standpoint. We know Troy Aikman and Joe Buck gonna do their thing. So Stan mentioned the weather. It was 24 degrees when they took on Kansas City at Arrowhead, and we saw how they were able to prevail then. So I don't think that's going to play too much of a factor, albeit Arrowhead and Pittsburgh as two different codes. But I would say how the Pittsburgh Steelers utilize what's my guy, the running back out the backfield, Gainwell. Gainwell is number 2.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, Ken Gainwell.
Ken Gainwell. He's number 2 in receptions for that team. And as we talked about a little bit earlier, MC, Houston brings some pressure. Aaron Rodgers ain't doing a lot of scrambling around like he used to. So he'll dump it off. And one of the concerns this year, the numbers were high, that they went on a very good streak of having that number under 10, but the missed tackles. They bumped up for a couple of weeks and they cut them back down. It's been very inconsistent for Houston. So you look at Kenny Gainwell getting a dump off, a check down, and being able to make a man miss and get upfield, and how that could potentially hurt Houston depending on the downs to distance. 3rd and 6, now he gets up the field and he gains 8. Now that's a drive extender. That's an extender of the drive. And that does kind of worry me a little bit when I look at, how Houston could lose or win this game. I don't want to overlook what Kenneth Gainwell has meant for an offense that has struggled to find playmakers.
Fair point by you. The way the Pittsburgh Steelers want to play on offense, they don't do a lot of downfield stuff. Aaron Rodgers gets the ball out quick. They make you miss. They get the ball out on the perimeter, which is a pseudo run. They work the middle of the field with big body DK Metcalf, a guy that I think is going to be critical in this matchup. Tight end, Pat Freiermuth. We know what tight ends have done to the DeMeco Ryan defense over the last 3 seasons, although they did have some success versus Ricky Tywarn in the Indianapolis Colts, as well as they put George Kittle on ice when he came over here to NRG mostly. But then you do have, obviously, the guy from Arizona. The name is McBride. McBride from Arizona put in some work. And there was another tight end, Brock Bowers, put in some work as well. So watch the middle of the field. Gainwell is certainly capable in the pass receiving game, But from rushing the football standpoint, it's about Jaylen Warren. The thing that gives me the most concern, I would say, other than Freiermuth, it's the Texans' offensive line. The Steelers are feast or famine. They take the ball away and they hit your quarterback. They can still do those things, and that's with TJ Watt being out. They got a brother over there. What's his name? Oh, shoot. Who's Highsmith? Alex Highsmith? He's a baller. No question about it. He's not on the tier with Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., but he's an excellent player off the edge. They got enough guys over there. TJ Watt got to get his legs up under the feet. And again, they're already in playoff mode. What does that mean versus this offensive line? Is Trent Brown back? What does that look like? The interior, Ed Ingram has played well. But Cam Hayward, did y'all see Cam Hayward running around on Sunday night? He did not look like a 36-year-old man. He was playing extremely well. So it would be, for me, the Texans' offensive front specifically gives me some concern.
And to that, I haven't seen the numbers, so I'm not 100% sure. But being able to run the ball against Pittsburgh. Now, we know in the past, that was tough. Actually, I did have the numbers somewhere, and I can look them up when I get a chance. But, like, for Houston, they have struggled to consistently run the ball on teams. But we've talked about it before. When they can rush for over 100 yards, the offense looks different. And this being the type of game that it is, playoff game against Pittsburgh, the whole nine, right? Do we see more of Nick Chubb, or is that chapter just closed? Because over the last 5 weeks,
I was actually going to ask you that.
The last 5 weeks, we've seen Nick Chubb maybe playing 15 snaps. Maybe.
Well, the problem is we don't know what's going on with Jawad Jordan, who left the game on Sunday. Now, we did see the emergence of British Brooks, the best game I think any of us has seen from a running back standpoint from British Brooks, and we know what we're going to get from Woody Marks. So are they going to do running back by committee? You mix in a Nick Chubb. We know how they got to keep Dare out there for third down. That's just a part of what they do, the Texans on offense. But I think the key is going to be to not – Nick Caley cannot allow Mike Tomlin to make him one-dimensional, because that's what happened to Baltimore, and they got in trouble. In the first half, Derrick Henry ended the game on Sunday night, 20 carries for 126. That's 6.3 yards a carry. We saw him rip off the highlight run of 41 yards. The problem, he only had 5 yards in the second half. Nick Caley cannot get complacent. Just chop wood. Just keep going with body blows. Do not allow C.J. Stroud to just have to sit back there in the pocket. Those pass rushes are too good going up against a banged-up Ariante Ursery with a cast on that hand, as well as we will see, is that Trent Brown or is that Blake Fisher? Now, I don't know about you, but I get uncomfortable at the thought of Blake Fisher trying to block T.J. Watt out the edge.
I get uncomfortable no matter who it is blocking that guy. That's just one of those. That's like a Miles Garrett. They freak me out every time.
Now, to be fair, the last time we saw Pittsburgh in NRG in 2023, they had that. Remember, J.J. Watt goes in the Ring of Honor, and then they put T.J. Watt. He didn't have a game. They basically, I didn't even hear his name called. So I don't have those numbers in front of me. But D'Amico has seen C.J. Watt. D'Amico and C.J. have seen T.J. Watt before. Now, Blake Fisher and Ariante Ursa have not.
And look, if J.J. Watt is a true Texan, which he is, he's going to give all the tips and all the secrets this week to the Texans coaching staff about his brother.
Really, the Texans are 4-0 when J.J. Watt calls the game.
It sounds like he needs to call more games.
Go ahead.
To your point, Stan, you talk about not getting away from the run. Houston in their last 5 games, 32, 34, 26, 31, and 33 carries in those games. So I think you're absolutely right. And Houston has shown that when they need to, they'll run the ball. And majority of those runs have been in that second half when they'll get that 3 to 7 point lead.
And that's, yeah. Sorry, I can't hear y'all here. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
My thing is cutting in and out. I think it's my headphones. I'll tell you what. We'll get to the timeout here real quick, so I can unplug my thing, and then we'll come back. We'll start talking about what things the Texans have to do to make the Steelers' life hell in this football game. That's next year on the Locked On Texans Squad show. All right, real quick before we get to that, I want to tell you guys about Zocdoc. Finding a doctor, you can actually feel like discovering a diamond in the rough. You want someone in network nearby with availability, but you also want a doctor who really listens, makes you feel comfortable, explains things clearly, and helps you walk out feeling confident about your next step. Your diamond in the rough doctor exists, and finding them is easy with Zocdoc. Zocdoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can choose someone who you truly connect with. Being able to choose between in-person or video visits always makes scheduling way easier. The real-time availability means you can book instantly, not playing phone tag. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments. Go to ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNFL to find and instantly book a doctor you love today. That's ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNFL. ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNFL. That thanks to Zocdoc for sponsoring this message. I challenge you guys to say that 3 times fast. That's what I challenge you to tonight here on the Locked On Texans Squad show. Michael Connor, Stan Norfleet, John Hickman, thanks for joining us. We are with you every Tuesday, and of course when the game ends next Monday night is the next time that you will see us. Wade Smith will join us after that one as well, where the Texans will be taking on the Steelers.
Michael.
Yeah. You can, whatever.
Will we go Monday night, and then we will resume our normal programming on Tuesday? So we will have post-game and Second Take Tuesday back-to-back?
Yeah, if you guys want to do Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever you guys want.
All right. Texans fans, make sure y'all are seated and ready for some Locked On Texans Squad talk.
There is a possibility. I don't want to be negative Nancy because, I don't like being negative Nancy. I've picked the Texans to go to the Super Bowl. But if they do lose next week, Monday, we would be doing 3 shows next week in the middle of the week. We would be doing Monday, Tuesday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
That would suck.
We treat
what would we say? What would we be saying if they lose this game, guys? I know we're coming on. I know John thinks they're going to win. I'm guessing, Stan, you're going to pick them to win. I think you're going to pick them to win. I'm going to pick them to win.
I don't know. Wait to the end of the show.
We'll find out. I'm definitely going to pick them to win because I picked them to go to the Super Bowl already.
All right. What will we say?
What will we say if they lose?
It depends on the outcome. You know, well, how did they lose? Did the quarterback just not do his job, or did the defense get exposed by Aaron Rodgers, who has years of a ton of playoff experience attacking secondaries? And this is a fractured secondary when we get past Kamari and Derek Stingley and Caleb Bullock. They've allowed those explosive plays. So I think it just depends on how they lose.
I want to make amends for an error I made earlier in the program. I referenced the backup DB. I said Damone Clark, number 31. That's not who I was talking about. I was talking about Jamarcus Ingram, number 42. He got into the game at several points. The second half, we know, versus the Colts, that was a lot of backups, a lot of second, and even some third stringers. So I'm not going to let that worry me right now. What will we say? What has been the Achilles heel? Or, we'll try and order them. The Texans have been what? Offensive line has been better as of this winning streak since Trent Brown has been inserted in the lineup. Well, what if they don't have him available on Sunday? I heard somebody else in the comments. Well, that's fine. We'll just move Titus back to right tackle. Okay, now you got Derek Harmon and Haywood going up against Juice Scruggs and Jared Patterson. That didn't make me feel good. Okay,
I think they would trust Jared Patterson out there first before they put Juice.
I'm not disagreeing with that. We've seen Patterson get some starts at that left guard position and get some reps there when somebody need to go in there. I'm saying I don't think that's a favorable matchup going against that defensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers in that front seven, especially got Patrick Queen and those guys coming down mugging those A-gaps. The other thing I would say is what? Red zone. If this turns into Kyman kicking the ball, I just don't believe field goals win you games. Yes, you can kick a game winner or you can miss a game winner, i.e. what happens Sunday night. But I think who scores touchdowns? That's who wins this game.
Hey, look, all you got to do is get like 5 or 6 field goals and 1 touchdown. You should be good. That's it.
And again, I want to add one other thing. And again, jump in there, John, whenever. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be doing the same thing C.J. Stroud's trying to do. Both of these teams are going to try and establish the run. Okay, right. Who gives up on it first? While you're establishing the run, both of these teams are going to try and complement the run by going with some play action. And then you dink and dunk and matriculate your way down the field. And then both of these teams are going to try and take their star wide receivers, especially given the coverage bust. Jalen Ramsey's not playing the best ball, and neither him. Who was the other safety? Clark got benched, or did Clark come in? But Ramsey gave up a touchdown as well on Sunday night on one of those busted coverages. So can CJ capitalize on the shots when they take them? What has this Texans, i.e. Alec Pierce, destroying the Texans in the first half of the game on Sunday? Which one of these teams is going to maximize on those shots down the field?
Would you guys have any thought to doing what you did in the Chargers game and trying to come out and go bang early like that?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
And if I'm being honest, I think that's Houston's way. That needs to be their way moving forward. Because they play so conservative as the game goes on, I think a shot to open it up. And the Pittsburgh Steelers run a lot of man defense. And C.J. Stroud has been very good versus man this year. One of the progressions in his game. You got Nico Collins, and if we don't get that play call back, we'll have a Jaden Higgins big play from last week, but it was called back due to a penalty. And we talk about things that cannot happen. That P word, those penalties can't happen. So I would, man, play action boot, have a good low option, top Dalton Schultz across the middle, and Nico Collins down deep. I would.
Here's the problem. That's the feast part of it. What if Jalen Ramsey takes the ball away? And now you give an extra possession to Aaron Rodgers and that offense, right? What started happening, Aaron Rodgers put 26 points up against that Baltimore defense, which is not a traditional Baltimore defense, and obviously the Texans are much better. but giving the time and where you are on the field when you called it. Those guys are, and Kyle Duggar was the other safety I was trying to talk about. I think Duggar got pulled, and then Chuck Clark went in because Duggar hadn't been playing well this year. So their safety rooms are a mess. You got to take a shot. It's just if you miss on it and the ball gets picked, or if you expose C.J. Stroud to getting hit because of that pass rush. I'm not saying you can't take your shots. I'm just cautious of there's high risk, high reward there.
Yeah, I think it's just something that I don't know. I always think about come out with a bang, see if you can catch a team on their heels early. And this team's good things. Like John said, this team does seem to get conservative as the game moves on. So how would you guys attack this though, offensively against the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend? What would be the overall game plan for you?
That's a good question. I don't think I have a real game plan for the offense.
Is there somebody on the offense that you think needs to ball out then, John?
Yeah, absolutely. Number one is the guy, the man.
Obviously.
The man. And as C.J. Stroud, right after that, it needs to be Nico Collins. I mean, he is the guy that I think can challenge any DB over there in Pittsburgh.
Of course, yes.
Nico Collins opens up things down deep. Then who do we see feast underneath? Dalton Schultz. I mean, that's been the formula for Houston.
That's who I'm going with this week. I think it's the Dalton Schultz week.
It got to be Dalton Schultz. Right? He has to be a part of it. And I'm also going to say this. They like to blitz a lot in Pittsburgh. I think they blitz at the third highest rate in the league.
They always have.
They always have. This has not been a team that has successfully ran screens this year. So I'm not going to necessarily call for screens, but just intentional dump offs to the running backs or whoever.
CJ's got to know where his hot routes are.
You are
at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
At the line of scrimmage, CJ Stroud in between his ears has got to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's got to know if they're coming hot with Alex Highsmith right here. That ain't the boy name. What I call the boy name? Yeah, it is Alex Highsmith. Yeah, I'm going hot right over his head, and whether that's Dalton Schultz or Cade Stover or Woody Marks or Xavier Hutchinson on a little skinny post or a shallow dig, we're going right behind in the face of the pressure, right behind it before the linebacker or the safety can come down and defend it. That should be a part of their game plan, along with running the football. If they give up on the run, if the Texans don't have 23 to 25 attempts from running backs, I don't think that's a good formula. I think you get pass happy in a game like this, in an environment like that, with weather like that. When I say weather, I'm talking about the temperature, the ball ricochets off your hand, all of that type of stuff. Receivers aren't quite as explosive. What did we see happen in that game at Acrisure Stadium? It should still be Heinz Field, but nonetheless, didn't we see a double move? Baltimore gave the DB a double move for Pittsburgh, and what? He slipped.
Oh man, that was just
so the field conditions. I think
that was a Lucia.
That was a Lucia.
They always have a terrible field.
So footing is going to be critical, and you don't necessarily have to be out of position. You could just be your chest or your shoulder pads out over your toes, or you get caught flat-footed, which is what happened to Awuzie. He got caught with his feet parallel, and he couldn't open up out his break. You either got to do a T-break or you got to do a traditional back pedal, and that's how you keep your footing. And those guys know that stuff just happens when you're out there playing.
Yeah. Is there somebody for you, Stan, specifically? Because I know we talked about it. But is there a specific player that you're looking at offensively that you're saying, hey, man, this has got to be your week? Outside of Woody, maybe, or whoever the hell you want it to be.
I mean, it's not going to be sexy, but this is Ariante Ursary.
Okay.
You go up against you, and Mike Tomlin said it on the radio show either yesterday or today. The Houston Texans are the best pass rush duo in pro football, bar none. Ariante Ursary practices against that bunch. Ariante Ursary is going to get a dose of another good tandem or collection of pressure players and a pressure package. Can he lead the charge? Can they trust Ariante Ursary, especially if Trent Brown can't go? That means now you have to make sure if they don't move Titus to right tackle, and maybe that's what they do. But somebody on this offensive line is going to need help if Trent Brown can't go. So for me, it becomes Ariante Ursary. Can we trust you to be the franchise left tackle of this organization in critical moments. You're not a rookie anymore. You played in 18 games. Now there's a heightened sense of things, right? Like the value of what you are protecting CJ's blind side goes up. What happened to Lamar Jackson when TJ Watt came up? TJ Watt was in the right place, right time. Tip ball, interception, Pittsburgh puts points on the board. That can't happen in a playoff game. Or if you lose the turnover battle by 1 in a playoff game, the propensity of you to lose is like 70%. They cannot turn the football over. So I go Ariel Taylor.
I was just saying, like John said, they've not been turning the ball over, which is a good thing overall. I mean, I was looking at CJ Stroud's numbers today because, I mean, it's kind of weird to take a step back and look at it. I mean, I think he's 8 interceptions this year. He cut it down compared to last year.
Is it 8? Is it 19 touchdowns, 8 picks?
Yeah.
20 touchdowns because he got 1 on the ground. Got 2 on the ground, actually. No,
I'm saying passing. Passing. Give me the touchdown. 19 and 8. So he's a 2-to-1, a little bit more, almost 2.5 to 1. CJ Stroud should be 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about when you looked at his numbers too. If he had played out an entire season, he probably would have ended up having just about, outside of the yards, it would have been his best season maybe overall. Rating wise, pretty close. He's been pretty. I know we do all this talking about him, but the numbers have been pretty similar every year, other than the first. I mean, the first year was a couple of numbers a little bit higher, but like maybe this is just who he is, and it's
the second half of 2024. That's when it got ugly.
I think for Stroud, I talked about this on the Tuesday show, man. He could very well be on that same trajectory as Russell Wilson was. The first couple of seasons when Russell Wilson came into the league, what did he have? He had the Legion of Boom. He had a very great defensive-minded coach in Pete Carroll. He had a very great running game. The only thing that Houston is missing right now is a run game, right? And if they would have had Joe Mixon this year behind that offensive line, the conversations probably would be different. Joe Mixon alone wins Houston at least an additional game. So I think who he is right now is where Russ was in his first couple of years. We see the Legion of Boom and that Seattle team go win a Super Bowl. Houston could very well do it. The one thing that I love about CJ Stroud this year, but more so when he came back from the injury, and DeMeco Ryans highlighted it every chance he could get. He's done a very good job of just not turning the ball over, protecting the ball. He's been very intentional with not creating bad sacks or taking bad sacks. And when the play isn't there, we've seen CJ Stroud throw the ball away. So I think if we go based on what we've seen since the return of Stroud, how the offense has looked and defensively as well, some of the things that the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to do in those 7 one-score victories, Houston had done in 5 or 6 games.
If you're asking me somebody other than CJ, other than Ursary, right? Because it's gonna be on the offensive side of the ball. None of us are worried about the defensive side of the football. It's been that way all year, by and large. Now, has the defense gotten a little bit leaky as of late? It has. I'm one of the few people that will acknowledge what the tape says. DeMeco knows it. That's why he's been a little bit ornery and he's been a little bit PO'd over the last few weeks at different points because he knows the defense is getting leaky as the bodies continue to pile up at the defensive line position, specifically tackle, as well as in the secondary. That withstanding, what are the commonalities the last 2 playoff games on the road for the Houston Texans in the CJ Stroud, DeMeco Ryans era? What has been the issue? One has been the weather. It was cold in Baltimore in 23. It was cold as bleep in Kansas City in 24. What else happened? Nico Collins was on the field.
Yeah.
Nico Collins was on the field for both. CJ Stroud was on the field for both. There was no number 2. Who's going to be the second wide receiving threat? Respect to Dalton Schultz, who I think should have been a Pro Bowler, but is it going to be Higgins? Is it going to be Hutch? Is this going to be Christian Kirk earning that money this year?
That's what I wanted to ask y'all.
Who's going to be the second wide receiver? And they may listen. I'm not saying they got to have 100 yards. I'm saying it may be who's going to get that crucial first down. Yeah. Who's going to be at that? It could be a 2 reception, 2 touchdown type of day for Christian Kirk or someone else. Maybe it's Higgins, maybe it's Noel, maybe it's Kirk, maybe it's Watson, maybe it's Hutch. I don't know. But Nico by himself is not enough. They're going to need somebody else, and that's no disrespect to Nico.
With Pittsburgh blitzing at the rate that they do, this could very well be, if they game plan it right, this could be a big game for 2 players. Number one, you mentioned Christian Kirk. I know he ain't done it all year, But if CJ can win inside the helmet, then understanding where his hot route needs to go, that could be Christian Kirk. But I'm also going to say this. This is a guy, Stan, you've talked about since training camp. And he's done a very good job of catching the ball on the run, getting upfield, getting some yak yards when he gets opportunities. Xavier Hutchinson could be huge for Houston in this game. I don't think Xavier Hutchinson is a wide receiver 2 in this league. I don't think Christian Kirk is at this point in his career. But matchups matter. And if Stroud can hit him in stride, across the middle, beating the blitz in an open space of the field, recognizing it early on, an 8-yard catch could very well turn up to 30 if Xavier Hutchinson is moving how he's been moving this year. So I would look to see the incorporation of both those guys against a defense that likes to send 6 or more.
I'm really just thinking about kicking the both of you off for the last segment for me bringing up Christian Kirk like he's going to do anything. That corpse of a body out there on the field. Come on.
Wishful thinking. This is our version of wishful thinking.
I might have a better chance than he does to catch a pass in the game, and I can't run 5 yards down the field at half the speed he does. All right, let's take a guess into how this thing it plays out as a whole. We'll do that in the final segment of the Locked On Texans Squad show. All right, wild card round is here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. Every game day during NFL playoffs, FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action, because right now, every NFL playoff game, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Each game day, you'll see a pack loaded with multiple profit boost you can apply to the bets you like the most. Open your profit boost pack first thing on game day and see what boost you want to apply. The boost let you lean in to your game day instincts, whether you're backing momentum, defense, quarterback play, or coach, and the boost give you more juice on the bets you already like instead of forcing you to bet something new. Every play feels bigger, and the boost make you and your bets feel that way too. You can make your picks, then apply your profit boost to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game. Texan Squad show. I might need to bring the squad back. I wasn't actually going to kick you guys off. Sorry. I'm Michael Connor. There's Stan Norfleet. There's John Hickman. Make sure you're checking out John with the Daily Show as well. And also don't do a show with a dog that knows how to open a door, because he's right next to me and he just keeps opening the door, and it's really starting to tick me off now, 47 minutes in the show. Just go, dude. Guys, the Texans and the Steelers on Monday Night Football. You mentioned it too, John. That's a good call. We don't have to listen to Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, or we could have gotten J.J. Watt and Ian Eagle, which would have been fine, or whatever.
I actually like that combo between those two.
Which one?
J.J. Watt and Eagle.
Yeah, I do too. I think they're great together. I think that
J.J. does a very good job.
I think when they decide to replace that booth at CBS, they should also replace Jim Nantz. And I love Jim Nantz for golf, not for football anymore. But the Texans and Steelers, how do we think this one's going to play out, fellas? Like, what would, in your mind, Stan, as we sit here, like, what do you envision the style, how it looks, the amount of stress that goes through it for the fans? Is it ugly? Is it pretty? Is there points where there's one team's out ahead further than the other, and then it tightens up? What do you see?
Well, I think it's going to be a very physical contest. Stylistically, schematically, they do some different things from each other, but stylistically, this is going to be about being physical at the point of attack. This is going to be about both teams trying to maintain possession of the football and the clock. This is going to be trying to establish the run, play action, take your shots when they're there. Don't do anything dumb. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a very veteran, very smart, very crafty football team. Now, maybe, and I told you guys when we first started talking about how these matchups could fall, I said I didn't want to go to Pittsburgh. What we watched on Sunday night was the reason why at the time. Aaron Rodgers keeps wanting the clip for moments like that. Now, maybe it's out of his system. Maybe Sunday was that magical performance and he doesn't have any of those left. But I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be very physical at the line of scrimmage. Special teams is going to be critical in the return game, fielding the ball cleanly, given the temperature. And somebody else, my man Mellow Mike 26. Yes, I understand it was cold at Kansas City. That's a regular season football game. Go back and read what the players of the Texans said after Baltimore in 2023 and what they said after Kansas City in 2024. The players said it was cold as hell and it affected us. D'Amico Ryans admitted the weather affected them in a playoff environment on the road. I'm not making this up, Mike. Now, special teams, can you field the ball cleanly? I think close ball game. Kymie Fairbairn is likely going to win it for the Texans. And they may end up winning by, the spread was Texans by 3.5 the last time I looked at a sports book. I think the Texans going to end up winning the game 2 to 3 points. And who is it that saved their bacon all year? Who has saved that offense the entire season? It's been Kymie, who's coming off a game where he just knocked in a career best 6 field goals in a game. Texans win.
We didn't know this by the other day. He tied the NFL record for field goals in a season with that.
In a single season, 44. So to me, it comes down to Kymie. He wins it, and that's how they get it done. Of course, the defense leads the way. That goes without standing. Yeah.
300.
Oh, actually, you know what, Stan? Give me a score. We're gonna keep track of it real quick. We're gonna put down our score predictions.
A score. What's the over/under? What's the over/under right now?
I'll pull it up.
I thought y'all had it up. I'm sorry. Okay, let me go through this. CJ is going to throw for 1 touchdown. Are the Texans going to have a rushing touchdown? No. So CJ is going to have to throw for 2 touchdowns.
Over/under is 39.5.
I'm going to take the under. I'll give you something like 38.5. What'd you say?
39.5.
Give me something like, I don't know. The numbers don't necessarily match, but like, I guess I am taking them over. 16-13 Texans.
Okay.
I guess I am taking the over. I don't like that.
Total?
39.5.
Oh, 39.5. Okay, yeah. 16-13. I'll take the under.
Yeah, and the line is now to 3. Texans are a 3-point favorite. The Texans are one of 1, 2, 3 road teams this weekend that are favorites in the NFL.
It just speaks to the parity. I like Houston. I like Houston 16-10.
16-10.
I like Houston.
You guys like really low.
I like that. I like that. CJ Stroud 350 yards. No, I'm just playing. But this is a very bad passing defense that they have up there in Pittsburgh.
It is. Like I said, if the pressure doesn't get there,
have his opportunity. I think he'll have his opportunity to make some plays with his arm. This is one thing I don't want to see, and I'm not sure how the conversations internally that the Houston Texans have had, and I'm starting to get congested, so forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to see CJ Stroud play scared with a running lane. One of the plays that really stood out to me this year was a 30-yarder on the ground early in the year. I think that was against San Fran, or maybe it was at Baltimore. But he had a 30-yard pickup. He had a few big runs this year before the concussion. And maybe for Houston, it was just smart for them to say, let's make it to the playoffs, right? But this is a playoff game against Pittsburgh, a story franchise. And this is one of those moments where you got to leave it all out on the field. So I don't want CJ to be too reluctant to take off with the ball. Be smart when he takes off with the ball. Slide when he needs to. And I don't think he's a good slider. So just get down when you need to get down.
It's awkward.
Yeah. But if the running lane is there and if the lane looks like an additional 4 yards, take it. Don't sit back there and allow that pocket to collapse when you have the lane. And also trust your offensive line that they'll give you time to make some of these throws. So just be smart about it. But I like Houston in this game, 16-10. Like I said, I can see CJ having a good day, solid day. I'm not going to pick anything crazy.
CJ's over under, by the way, on passing yards in this game, 238.5. It's the number you could get.
I'll take under.
I'll take the over on that.
Aaron Rodgers is 204.5.
I'll take the over on that.
I'll take the under on that too.
Ooh, it's gonna be.
I'll take the over on Stroud, the under on Rodgers. The homer's coming through.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But so I like Houston in this game.
You got 16-10. Stan's going 16-13. I'm going to go Texans 24-16. I think that they're going to get a comfortable lead early, and I think they're just going to kind of coast. I think it's going to stay at least a touchdown the entire day. I really do. I don't know what it is. I just think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing with a house of cards, and the Texans are going to expose them. Maybe they get a touchdown. Maybe they get something there late to get that score a little bit closer. But I think that the Texans get out, and they have at least a 2-touchdown lead at halftime. Put it in the books.
The Steelers just were down 10-0 to Baltimore, and they came back and won.
Yeah, against the Baltimore Ravens, who weren't any good. They didn't make the playoffs.
With Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews.
Lamar Jackson threw for like 118 yards in the game or whatever.
I'm sorry, I saw him throw multiple touchdowns. That's the game I watched.
I mean, he looked okay.
No, it was busted coverage. They caught the Steelers and busted coverage. They went cover 0.
A year, right? Just a year.
I'm talking about Sunday. Sunday night, the Pittsburgh Steelers were down 10-0, and they fought back in it.
Good for them.
And old man Aaron Rodgers,
who looked high, by the way. I don't know if y'all saw that, but Aaron Rodgers looked a little bit
they don't test
on the
for,
happy side.
They don't test for weed in the NFL.
I saw those eyes, brother.
They can do whatever. He can do whatever. Yeah,
probably sipping some warm ayahuasca on the sideline or something.
Yeah. And he had some repos, Stan.
Ooh, that'll get you going. Yeah.
Well, Stan can have that for his parting shot tonight, actually.
Parting shot from me. What's up, my man Michael in the Heights? I see you over there, baby. Man, I miss you, brother. Michael in the Heights used to call in when I was doing some local radio. Appreciate that. Parting shot. I guess for me, like the Houston Texans have slayed a lot of dragons, so to speak, this season. They took down Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, and granted it wasn't Lamar Jackson, but you go into Baltimore and you take care of that business, and everybody, including yours truly, hung you out for dead when you were 0-3, then you were 3-5, and then kaboom, you win 12 of the next 14, including 9 in a row, to have the league's longest winning streak actively. And with the schedule that they're playing, a first place schedule, and your out of conference opponents or out of division opponents are the AFC and the NFC West, respectively, who are some of the better teams in this league. The Texans should be battle tested. The Texans, by and large, given that Nico didn't play last week and Kamar didn't play last week and Trent Brown didn't play last week, like they should be physically feeling about as well as you can. D'Amico took the starters, many of them off the field in the second half of the Colts game on Sunday. There are no excuses for the Texans not rising to the occasion. They are as healthy and as hot as anybody and as talented, as anybody in the league. I expect them, led by their defense, to go out there and do so.
John?
I'm going to give me some wings, man, Monday night. I'm going to give me some Papa's barbecue wings. They do a good job of grilling them. I'm going to sit down, and I'm enjoying Texas win. That's it. I think that they're going to win this game. I've said it before. I can't bet against D'Amico Ryan's team right now. But I seriously think this season is just magical. And it'll result in Houston at the very least get into the AFC Championship game. And with this magical season, like Stan mentioned, I mean, they've taken down some guys. They finally took down the Slade KC, Baltimore.
I left out Josh Allen. They repeated that performance versus Josh Allen. Back to
him. Yeah. I also thought what was an impressive win, if you ask me, was the Indianapolis Colts win the first go-around. So, also, the Jags game, they kicked everything off, the Davis Mills moment. So I'm going to sit down and enjoy some wings. I'm going to watch a dub for Houston. I'm going to come on this show, and we're going to have a great time talking about Houston winning the game, how they won the game, and looking forward.
I may not partake in the wings part. I would like to. I don't know what my Monday, meal is going to look like, but I can tell you this. I think, like I said earlier, it's going to be a great night to be a Houston sports fan. We're going to be doing something fun, watching them play. I know that this franchise hasn't accomplished anything, consequential, but I always, as a fan, go into these things and say, it's better to be here than to be somewhere else where they don't do this. So I'm going to soak that in. Now, I'll be pissed if they lose, of course, but I don't think that that's a possibility in this one. Of course, when that game wraps up Monday night, it'll be a little bit later, we will be here for the Locked On Texans Squad Show. John and Stan, and then, of course, Wade Smith, former Texans offensive lineman, will be with us as well. Make sure that you're here. Make sure you hit subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you find the podcast anywhere that you get your podcast, and check out John between now and then with the Daily Show as well. We hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you after a victory Monday night against the Steelers on the Locked On Texans Squad Show.